What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? My peeps, my peoples, we is in the building, peep squad. Let's get down to the situation, but please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk about Royce Reed from Basketball Wife. Lord have mercy. She was arrested for child neglect, and baby, this is her mug shot. She said that she was crying, she was scared, and she said the police did not have to come look for her because she knew that she was wrong, and therefore she went to the police station with her family members and basically turned herself in, and she was arrested. And basically the information is out here everywhere online, and it's just like, Lord have mercy. And she also, put a statement out on her Instagram, basically to just tell people that, yo, listen, I turned myself in. And she said, if you got anything to say, you can, talk to my attorney. And she said, as for her mugshot, she was scared. She was afraid because she already knew what was going to go on and what was going to go down. And she has been going through it, baby. She's been going through it for real, for real. I was like, OMG, when it comes to Royce Reed being arrested, like, it's really like one of these cases that is just so sad and devastating. It almost seems like it belongs on SUV of, Law and Order. Like, this is just crazy. And Royce knew that she was wrong, and that's why she was arrested. And yes, she's at fault in this situation as far as leaving, minors unattended around her oldest son that she has with, Dwight Howard. And basically she left 2 young children unsupervised around her oldest son, and basically 2 to 3 incidents took place with these 2 young boys at her home while she was cooking, and the kids were upstairs, and she signed court documents, and also her son signed court documents that her oldest son, that's with Dwight Howard, should not be unsupervised around minors, around children, around kids that are younger than him. And if he's around kids that are older than him, they must be able to understand, what's going on, what's happening, and be able to defend themselves. They can't be handicapped or have any type of disability being around her son. Her son was kicked out of school for allegedly an incident that happened with a young girl at school. And so her son, did something to one of his classmates, and basically he was kicked out the school. And then on top of that, he could, for a plea deal that her son took, so he wouldn't register as an offender, and you know what I mean, and things of that nature. So she signed a plea deal. He signed a plea deal as well to keep, him out of jail or out of training school, things of that nature. For him not to be around children unsupervised, not being able to babysit children and things of that nature. Royce Reed entered a relationship with this guy, and he had 2 children. The guy knew something went on with Royce Reed and her son, that, he was kicked out of school and things of that nature. But he didn't understand the depth of the situation. So, he got his kids all up in the house. Royce, she knows what's going on with her son. She know what he done did. And basically, the man that she started dating, I think she was dating him for 2 years. And her son had recently done this incident in school before they actually got together. So therefore he was aware that he got kicked out of school, and it was involving a girl. So he didn't think nothing of it, and Royce Reed didn't think nothing of the situation, because they feel like, he victimized this young girl, and basically his victims were going to be girls, but not doing the research and not understanding, and the law enforcement, the school system not telling them that he could possibly be a predator to boys and girls. He's too young to basically, stick to one thing, and he might be a predator that, is well versed in a situation where, no one is safe around him, basically, whether you are a man, a boy, or a female. So you have that situation going on, but Royce believed, that her son only targeted girls, but that's not the case, because her son targeted these two young boys of her new relationship that I think she was with him for maybe 2 years. And the kids treat each other like brother and sister. And then the young man that Royce Reed was dating, he basically said that he felt like Royce's son, Dwight Howard's son too as well, really respected him and cared for him and loved him, that he wouldn't do anything to his children. So therefore, they're very unaware. They didn't do their research to find out what type of predator, her son is. And what could actually possibly happen. Like, they thought that he was just going to stay on a straight and narrow and go after women and not children. A falsehood that, just sad, because they didn't do their research. When you got Google, when you got the internet, you got YouTube, you got everything out here to find out, the mental aspects. You can buy books. You can buy so many different things. You can go actually sit down with a counselor, sit down with a doctor, and find out, is it just limit to girls? Is it just limit to boys? When would this occur? So none of that was done. And so in any event, Royce Reed was trying to get her son that she has with Dwight Howard, which he should be held accountable as well. But since the young man was under Royce Reed care and she was his primary caregiver and primary custodial parent, Dwight Howard basically skeets out in this situation. But we're going to get down to that as well. But in any event, Royce Reed was doing everything that she could to try to get her son into this particular school for kids that have certain issues. Like, her son has this issue and has these problems, has fit with rage and anger, and he's on the internet. So when he sees certain things on the internet, like, it makes him, full, and it sparks something. It triggers him where he wants to do something to somebody else. And he shouldn't have access to computers and internet and everything that her son was doing. It should have been monitored. If you check out Royce Reed TikTok videos, he got all types of video game. He got all types of gadgets where he can get on the internet and watch things that really arouse him or arouse him and things of that nature. And then he has these two boys in the house, and it is what it is. Really a really sad situation all the way together. So there was a lot of things that could have been prevented if there was some knowledge involved. And it would have been very helpful to have Dwight Howard in a situation, basically, being a father and taking control of the situation. Because we know with Dwight Howard, we done heard all the rumors and everything that he liked to do, what he get down, and what, ticks his clock and make him go cool for the cuckoo nuts. We done heard all the stories. We done seen them. We done saw them. We understand why some, NBA players don't want to be around him, because he is a freak nest. So in any event, he should have been able to talk to his son about these certain things and these urges, and basically guide his son and teach him how to be a man and what he's supposed to do and what he doesn't supposed to do. We have known that Royce Reed has been out here trying to get child support from Dwight Howard. He had ignored her. He has bashed her in public. It's basically, I believe he got 5 children, but Royce Reed has been so adamant about trying to have Dwight Howard in her son's life that it just seems like he don't want to be in her son's life. Allegedly, that's what we get from it. That's what we hear from her. So it's very important for a young man, especially that have these anger issues, and probably some of these anger issues come from his father not wanting to be a father, his father neglecting him, his father not being there for him, his father being on TV, his father being talked about. You see your father on TV, you see your father on these shows, that shows, doing interviews, but yet you don't see your father with you. So that caused some issues as well growing up. And whatever issues that Royce Reed has, the son basically developed both of their issues and problems, and now he became one of these children that are considered a predator and can't be around other young children. And in any event, it seems like Dwight Howard has the money. He's still in the league. I don't know if he's with the Lakers. I believe he's still with the Lakers. There should have been a special school that he should have belonged to. There should have been a special environment that he should have been in, especially when the first victim, it went down while he was was at school and he got kicked out of school, Dwight Howard should have came in and swooped up his son and put him in a facility or a place where he can get 24/7 help and actually get real help from real professionals, not something that's government substitute that anybody can work in, where people actually have these degrees and have experience and know what to do, and basically have his son in that type of predicament, or took his son and make sure he got the best help possible because he actually has the finance to do this for his son. So his son, gets involved in this incident. Where's Dwight Howard? He's nowhere to be found. He's nowhere around compared to what the court documents say, because when it comes to Dwight Howard's son, he says that he hasn't seen his father. Last time he seen his father was in 2020. The incident took place in 2021. He said he used to talk to his father on the phone, but his father got upset with him, and then his father don't talk to him no more, and that caused issues as well. So being neglected and being abandoned by your father, and then seeing your father on TV being this big hero, this big basketball star, has to do a lot with his psyche and also his psychology as well, being abandoned. So it seems like he wants to reach out and hurt people when he gets angry or when he has these feelings, and his father's part of that reason. And then his mother placating him and basically spoiling him, where if she take that time that she put on the internet, on the Instagram, on the TikTok, and basically homeschooled this boy and did research to find out, can his victimizing other people get worse? What can I do? And basically she was coddling her son, and she didn't want to believe her son is this predator. So therefore she felt like it was okay bringing these other two kids in a situation when she's fighting to get her son back in the school system, the public school system saying, no, we don't want your son. You can go get all the documents and everything you want. Denied. And so all this denying and being denied, and her running around to the school superintendent, running around to the child psychologist, trying to get all this paperwork together to get her son to school. She should have been homeschooling him, or she should have took Dwight Howard back to court to get some more money to put him in a facility that's basically going to help him, because he's going to become, even more of a worse criminal than he already is. So that didn't happen. And, that's life. That's how it goes. And these children don't actually be brought into this world, but they brought into this world with these parents. It's just really sad, because, this shouldn't have happened to the girl at school. There were signs of something was wrong with her son, and, she probably can only do so much, especially if you don't have the knowledge. And then the father abandoning the son. But in any event, with the new boyfriend coming in, he's watching, Royce Reed, go back and forth trying to get her son back in school. And it basically puzzled him, and it made him kind of fearful, like, oh my God, he's being denied, and she's doing all this stuff. And she's explaining to him the school system is basically denying her son. And it made him just a light bulb go off in his head, and the light bulb went out where he wanted to ask his sons, did Royce Reed and Dwight Howard's son do anything to you, and and touch you in places you don't supposed to be touched? And the children said yes, and it was very graphic details. And it's shocking that this is online, but this is the time that we live in. Everything is if it's public record, it's going to be on the internet. And the Shade Room dropped it. I believe Neighborhood Talk is the first people that dropped it, and then On Site dropped it, and then the Shade Room dropped it. But all the other national blogs and publications dropped the story, as well as Royce Reed being arrested. So the father was like, okay, he went to question his children, and they told him everything, and it just makes you want to break out and cry. It's so sad, because this did not have to happen to these two children. Royce Reed signed documentation where her son would be supervised at all times when any minors or anybody that's not able to defend themselves, that's under the legal age, he should be monitored, and he wasn't. They was upstairs playing video games while Royce and the boyfriend was down cooking, or outside playing alone, or in the living room playing by themselves, while the two adults were somewhere else in the house. So therefore, this is when these incidents took place. It's not alleged. The young man admitted to doing this to these two young boys because he said he was angry. And it's just sad that this had to happen, for real. It's just devastating for anybody to even read. Like, it shouldn't be online, but it is, and everybody's talking about it. And it's just heartbreaking because Royce don't really know what to do. She only did as much as she knew how to do. She didn't take the extra steps. The father basically is in MIA somewhere, living a great life, having fun, rolling around in his millions. Something should be done about Dwight Howard, and his teammates should get on his ass, for real. And the league should step in this situation too as well, because from him abandoning his son leads to what had taken place. Now Dwight Howard's oldest son, has 3 victims: a female that was his classmate and 2 younger boys. And who's ever going to want to be around Royce Reed with their kids? How is she ever going to find love or a relationship? Like, Dwight Howard done left her, abandoned her and their son, and went on to live a great life. And now she's staying. And I don't even know if she want to bring any kids around her son anymore or date anybody. Well, she shouldn't, that's for sure. And there's no such thing as supervised. He can't be around children until he get the help. But Royce Reed did do the right thing, because once her boyfriend told her that his sons told him that her son victimized them, she ends up calling the school the new school he belongs to. The new school he belongs to actually does, has actually helped him with his anger issues and actually controlling himself as well, with therapy and counseling on a daily basis. So once he attended this school, he's been attending this school for 8 months. He has had no current victims, and he has been able to control himself as well. So once Royce Reed found out this situation, she contacted the school. The school contacted DCYF and the police, and then they interviewed them and they arrested Royce Reed. And the man that she was dating, I don't know if he's still in the picture, but the mother of the man, she's hurt that this happened to her sons. You thinking with your son is with your father. If your sons are with their father, they're protected because he's a protector of the family. You know what I mean? But no, the father moves in with Royce, or staying at Roy's house multiple times, multiple days. They're having fun, living, they playing house and crap like that while his kids are being taken advantage of. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's not like, they could predict the future, but, if you did your research, you would probably know that he would reoffend again, especially if he didn't get help. And these incidents took place before Dwight Howard and Royce Reed's son actually got into this new school. Once he got into this new school, he has been reformed a little bit. And this is what probably made him come out and say what he did, because he knew that it was wrong. But, he admitted to the situation, but the 2 young boys, their father questioned them, because he was like, yo, why the school system really rejecting Royce Reed and Dwight Howard's son? And so then he made the questions, and it went on from there, which is just sad. I hope Royce Reed's son gets help. Royce keeps saying in the court documents that her son is a victim. A victim of what? Was he victimized, and who victimized him? And did they face charges? Because that person needs to be charged for every crime that he did. Because if he was victimized, that led him from being a victim to a predator. And some cases, victims become predators. Not in all cases, but it does happen. So all the way together, like, this is just devastating. It's just sad. So lift them up in prayer. Protect your children. Know where your children's at. And believe me, not just adults are predators. There are children that are predators as well. There are children that have issues. So, think about them sleepovers. Think about them playing. But pay attention. Question your kids. Tell them what is appropriate, what's not appropriate, where a person can touch you here or there or no, where you should undress or not. People say certain things. Teach them that when they come in contact with a predator, they know that they are in the presence of a predator and they need to get away and tell somebody. Teach your kids, teach your grandkids, teach your granddaughters, your grandsons, your nieces, your nephews to be aware, to know that just because there is a child around doesn't mean that child is innocent, and you got to protect your child. That's your job, that's your duty. Once you have a child, once you have children, your life is dedicated to them first and then you next, okay? Because you have to, talk to your children when they come from people's house, when they come from school, when they come from walking to the store. Talk to them. Ask them, did somebody say something to you? Did this happen? Question them. Let them know that you are open and available for conversations and you're never going to be in trouble, and I'm never going to blame you for anything. Please protect your children around children and adults and teach them knowledge and wisdom. And if you have a child that is a predator, protect other children, but also get your child help and understand the depth of their psyche and their psychological brain and their function and things that you may think that this is your baby. I love him. I gave birth to him or her. They are the star, the twinkle in my eye. But if there's something psychologically wrong with them, you have to make sure you do the right thing to protect everybody and protect your child, because there only could have been one incident. Now he has 3 incidents. He victimized 3 people. The second 2 boys shouldn't have been victimized at all, especially in her home, knowing that her son is not innocent and she signed a plea deal. And the father should have been there to swoop up his son and basically put him somewhere where he can get 24/7 help. And that didn't happen. He abandoned his son as well, especially in this particular time when he got kicked out of school. Dwight Howard should have stepped in. He got the money to do it. He got lawyers. He got clout. But did he do it? No. He should be held accountable too. But in any event, it's Royce Reed that was arrested. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. Peace.